In a cloud world far, far away, where Jeff Bezos seems like a wrong script. Let's try again. Every day, traditional services evolve through innovation. From waiting in line at a bank to accessing banking services on the go. It's about businesses transitioning from in-house servers to efficiency and scalability of the cloud. It's engineers leveraging cloud-based collaboration tools and simulations to streamline product design and development. It's customer support agents harnessing the capabilities of AI-powered chatbots and self-service portal for faster and personalized assistance. Because innovation has no bounds. It's the driving force behind progress, shaping traditional services with the power of cloud. Innovation and transformation are probably the two most common reasons why people move to cloud or anything new. And most businesses want more innovation. They want to transform themselves from what they initially started off with to what they could become. And cloud obviously makes this possible. However, how often have you heard a public cloud service provider talk about the fact that how do they make this enabled? And in today's video, I want to talk about how security is making this possible as well. Because let's face it, if you want to put something on the internet, you probably want to make sure that the risks that you're going to onboard as part of making that service available on the internet are definitely tapered down to the point that they are acceptable for your organization. In case you're wondering why am I talking about innovation and transformation, this video was inspired by a Bridgestone video that I saw on Trend Micro's YouTube channel, where the CISO of Bridgestone was talking about how cybersecurity is helping Bridgestone
environments so that we can secure them.
I know what you're thinking. Isn't Bridgestone a tire company? But let me tell you this, everyone is trying to transform their business so that they can get to the market quicker, having not to deal with the traditional pressures of how can we deliver these faster. Now, Tesla uses robots and so many other companies are trying to change the way traditional organizations have worked, and this is not just Bridgestone, but it's just across the board. You're finding this happen everywhere. This brings me to the second reason for why I wanted to make this video, because it's not just companies like Bridgestone, but why companies like yourself and the companies that you work for can also use cloud security as a reason to enable speed and enable productivity. Yes, the two words that people don't link with security, and I'll give you three reasons why this is the case. First one being automation. Coming from a world where each sysadmin knew what server people were hanging out on.
Keeps these things cool?
Yes, what are they?
I have no idea.
To today's world of DevOps and DevSecOps, where every server is ephemeral.
What kind of operating system does it use?
Vista!
We're going to die!
And the fact that you may have a server today, but not tomorrow, it actually makes sense to have more cattle than pets, because you're using servers as they are supposed to be, as machines which is do a job, and once the job is not required, you shut them down or get rid of them because you don't need to pay money for them.
Got some bad news for you. It's over!
The same goes for how security has been evolving as well. Traditionally, people have worked with IP addresses which they would put on a firewall, because guess what? The pets that used to have a name, aka the servers that used to have a name that all the sysadmins would know of, those were the IP addresses that were used in the firewall to protect them. Now that's also evolved from not just about being the IP address, but also from a perspective of what kind of objects should you be relating to when you are dealing with the cloud world. Now, in a cloud world, you also have things like virtual servers and others. But the point being, automation is one of the reasons why security has been helping innovate in a lot of organizations. Now, whether you take it from companies like Netflix, Capital One, who have been leading the charge for cloud and cloud security for a long time on massive stages like AWS reInvent and other places, but it's also improving and helping innovate smaller companies as well, because the API friendliness that is available from cloud providers enables people like you, me, and other cloud security professionals to be able to use the APIs for automation, for controls, for making blueprints of accounts, what they should look like. Whether you're trying to build a zero trust architecture in an automated fashion, what would that look like? Yes, I did say zero trust in an automated fashion. It is possible, maybe not exactly in the complete blueprint way, but some parts of it are, and you should definitely check that out. But also, one more thing that people tend to forget is that it's not just that we have access to tools that we have traditionally known, like firewall, IDS, IPS, and antiviruses, but the fact that if you use cloud native tools, like for example, if you are someone who uses AWS and you have AWS CloudTrail as a native service from the cloud provider that would give you information on what is going on in that AWS account in the entirety. Those are things that security professionals are now using for their advantage by putting that context across the entire risk posture of the organization, whether it's your security products that understand the cloud context and are able to give you protection for what does cloud security or cloud security posture manager and all the other things would just give you a small piece of. You also get to find out what's happening from an endpoint perspective, what's happening from a Kubernetes or Docker container perspective. Automation is definitely one of the reasons why we're able to be a lot more faster.
Go, 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 go!
Than we would have traditionally been, thanks to the APIs of the cloud provider that we are able to use to do security better. Talking about APIs, API friendly is the second reason why security has been able to help innovate in the organization. Now, for people who have been working in the cloud space for some time, you would realize that a lot of the security products that you used to work with, it was almost default that someone had to sit down and do click next, 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 to now customers asking their providers that, hey, we want it to be API friendly because we want to be able to integrate to consume information for cloud environment. We want it to be able to integrate into an existing DevOps pipeline or a CI/CD pipeline, which also means that security is getting faster. And again, automation is already adding on top of it. Being API friendly means that you are able to integrate not just with one service within the organization, but as many services as possible that are able to be API friendly. Thanks to every application being of a microservice in nature, everything is API enabled. So it's not just your cloud, but also things that you have to protect with cloud security, things that you would have to protect with just cybersecurity in general, whether it's your IoT security or your LLMs, if you are into one of those as well. A lot of those applications that were traditionally not known to be API friendly, thanks to the DevOps movement that happened, most applications these days are API friendly, which means your security products, or at least the solutions that you come up with from a cybersecurity perspective, are able to talk to a lot more things than what they would have otherwise not been able to, because limitations of this is a really old version, this does not support this, does not support that. But now, thanks to API, your security solutions that you're making in your organization are able to not just talk to cloud, but everything that's API enabled. That's how it's also helping innovate businesses faster, because now we're able to say that, hey, it's not just this one really new, freshly minted application that's protected because we are using our APIs, but look at that, all the 25 or 50 or 5,000 other applications that are API friendly, now we can provide them with a library that would help them be more native to wherever the application is coming from. Doesn't matter what the context is. Let's talk about being native, which brings me to the third reason, which is cloud native. Cloud native is the new DevSecOps. For people who have been hearing me talk about DevSecOps for some time, and one day it would happen, but at the moment, DevSecOps is very much associated with application security. But Amazon has started talking about DevSecOps in the context of cloud.
And to help do that, we have a group called Security Guardians. Interestingly, these are not people who report to the security team. These are software development engineers who are in the services that build the things that you consume.
And I believe that soon everyone would be talking about DevSecOps, not just in the context of application security, where people talk about, and I can go into a whole thing about having done DevSecOps for a lot of people via training them and consulting them. I would say DevSecOps is definitely going to approach into that cloud world, because think about this, your cloud environment has a CI/CD pipeline which is running infrastructure as code. Your cloud environment is primarily code at this point in time, and you want to do some kind of a static linting or some kind of a test on those cloud vending machines CI/CD pipelines that you've created. That's where I think DevSecOps is going to evolve from what it has traditionally been known, but it may require some time. But for the moment, I would say cloud native is the best version of DevSecOps that you can find. So if you're able to find cybersecurity solutions that are able to integrate into native cloud solutions, like I mentioned CloudTrail example earlier, but that's not the only case. You could say have integration to Azure Sentinel, which is a threat detection service, which in Azure, you can have integration there to have an automatic SOAR. Now I know SOAR is a hot topic for people from security operations, but I'll just say a possible practical SOAR if you really wanted to use one. You can create one using Azure Sentinel if you kind of go down that path as well. Or maybe even go Google Chronicle if you like to. But the point being, the more cloud native you are, the more you can have context of the cloud environment, the more you can add and complement the information that you would be collecting from all the other cybersecurity tools that you may have in your organization, in on-premise, in private cloud, in IoT devices, to get a rich information about whether you're facing an imminent threat right now or you're able to find a manageable threat that is going on at the moment as well. Which also leads to the point that because most of these applications will be created by developers, the one place you find all the problems that you can solve and work together with the developer to solve would be where the developer's hanging out. So your CI/CD pipeline, your repositories like GitHub, GitLab, etc. that comes in to mind as well. So being cloud native for me is being cloud friendly. And that's one of also the third and probably the most important reason why security is evolving in mature organizations where people are able to just go to that next level when it comes to innovating the organization with security in mind. Okay, I know I've been talking about automation, API friendly and cloud native for a few minutes now, but it's worthwhile knowing that there are challenges that you face with this as well. It's not just enough for you to have these concepts. You need the right people in your team to be skilled in it. You also need the right kind of partners you want to work with, or maybe the solution that you bring into the organization should have these features. At least they're able to use that for cloud native, API friendly, and being much more broader so that you can integrate a lot of that into just one pane of glass if you really wanted to go down that path, which is developer friendly as well. I think that's kind of where you would find most of the challenge. Sometimes the answer is easy, but it's definitely worthwhile calling out that companies that are using these three features to innovate, scale, and be a lot more flexible and work productively with developers would definitely see exponential growth in the future. It would help more Bridgestones of the world deliver more than what they started off with, from just being a tire company to be a lot more about intermobility, not just between what you see as point A to point B, but what are some of the innovative ways that you can actually make that entire experience better using technology. By the way, I just wanted to say thank you to Trend Micro for letting me use the video. If you want to know more about how Trend Micro can help you with innovation and transformation, check out the link at the bottom to find out more. So if you're wondering, hey Ashish, you said innovation and transformation, but you just spoke about innovation. Well, transformation is the second part of the video. Definitely make sure you subscribe to find out about the next part on how cloud and cloud security is helping transform companies like Bridgestone and others. And in the meanwhile, if you have other topics for why cloud and cloud security is helping innovate companies, definitely drop that as a comment. I would love to hear what you think about how we are positively impacting the world in terms of innovating, using technology, and sometimes maybe not using technology, how cybersecurity and cloud security is helping the world and the businesses around the world transform. Definitely check out the other content that we have on our Cloud Security Podcast YouTube and LinkedIn channels. Definitely feel subscribe. Otherwise, I'll see you next video. Peace.